This is the Fanatec GT DD Pro, without a doubt the most talked about sim racing peripheral in the last year, and quite possibly the most demanded sim racing wheel ever. After many long months, I finally got my hands on one, and here are my honest thoughts. The Fanatec GT DD Pro bundle was very kindly sent over to me by Fanatec for review and content creation purposes. That's right boys, I'm officially a sim racing YouTuber. Anyways, that being said, all thoughts and opinions stated here are 100% my own, and as I always do, I'll try to remain as honest and as transparent to you guys as possible. The GT DD Pro is Fanatec's all-in-one solution for PlayStation users looking for the utmost performance on Gran Turismo 7 and just racing games in general. As is, the entire bundle retails for $700, which includes the 5mm wheelbase, the Gran Turismo wheel rim, a table clamp to attach the wheel into a desk or flat surface, and the entry-level CSL pedal set. For $150 more, you get everything here along with the boost kit power supply, which takes the max torque of the wheelbase to 8mm. If you're feeling really bougie, you can spend $970 and get that, along with the low tail brake for the CSL pedal set, which gives you a third pedal, being the clutch. This review will only focus on the kit that I have, which is the cheapest currently offered with the PlayStation version of the CSL DD. The GT7 wheel rim included with the GT DD Pro has been controversial to say the least. The wheel, designed by Polyphony Digital, the team behind Gran Turismo, has been heavily criticized for its appearance. We're all entitled to our own opinions, so here are mine. It does look a lot better in person than it does online. They say the devil is in the details, and Fanatec got it spot on considering what this wheel is, a low-cost entry-level wheel designed for maximum functionality on GT7. While I don't necessarily love how it looks, I have to admit it does feel of good quality for what it is. It's covered in a soft rubber material which feels very grippy on your hands, and the wheel thickness is just right. That being said, I'm not a fan of the silver plastic used on the lower inner half of the wheel, as you're always touching it in game and it almost serves to remind you that this is a low entry wheel. The wheel rim comes in at 280mm in diameter, which is just a tiny bit bigger than that of the Logitech G Series wheels. In essence, a bit too small for my taste. The plastic center plate holds everything this wheel offers, which as you can tell is a lot. It includes a diffused rev LED strip which transitions from yellow, red, and blue to indicate when it's time to upshift, a very small OLED display which I'll talk about in a second, a 5-way directional stick for menu navigation, and 4 additional ones which will serve their purpose on GT7. A grand total of 11 buttons optimized for the PlayStation interface are also scattered throughout. All buttons and directional sticks feel as you would expect, essentially nothing crazy, but they also don't feel like they'll break anytime soon. The small white OLED display is a cool feature of this wheel. Not only does it output certain telemetry data on supported games, but more importantly, it serves as a tuning menu where you're able to adjust and fine-tune force feedback settings such as the wheel sensitivity, dampening, among many other things. This means that console users, which have never been able to get the most out of their wheels due to the lack of force feedback tuning available on those platforms, will now be able to. Behind the wheel, you find the quick release, which I'll talk about soon, as well as 2 basic paddle shifters. They have a short travel, are spring activated, and make this clicky sound. Although they are very simple, I do actually like them. They aren't obnoxiously loud and feel nice to press down. The CSL pedals are a lot better than I expected. Excluding the pedal faces, they are constructed entirely from metal. The heel rest is powder coated in black with a bold Fanatec logo on the front, and the pedals are pearl chrome plated. Compared to the standard entry-level pedal sets from Thrustmaster and Logitech, which are made almost entirely from plastic, this is incredible to see. Contactless 12-bit Hall effect sensors are also used on the CSL pedals, which leads to good precision, but more importantly, long-term durability as opposed to commonly seen potentiometer-based sensors. The CSL pedals are also very adjustable. Whether you want to adjust them side to side, move the pedal faces up or down, or even invert these pedals onto a cockpit which supports inverted mounting, you'll run into zero issues. While testing these pedals, I inverted them onto my Trak Racer TR120 and it worked like a charm. While testing, I did realize that these pedals are a lot louder than you would expect, since the metallic pedal arms slap against the pedal plate when you quickly let off the throttle or brake. In-game, coming exclusively from using load cell pedals for the last year, they certainly took a little time to adjust to. That being said, they're not bad for what they are. I don't have much to say about the throttle. It has a good travel and reacts well with my input. It really just does do the job, and it does it well. The brake pedal features a stiffer spring and a foam dampener to add more resistance on the second half of its travel. It tries to mimic a progressive brake, and it does the best it can for what it is. The force needed to completely push down the brake is very little, and you're also not able to adjust the resistance in any way. All that being said though, I felt comfortable using it in game. The precision and confidence under braking you get with the loud cell brake is definitely missing, but for an entry level pedal set, it does the job. The major complaint I have regarding the CSL pedals are the pedal faces. While they look fine, their plastic build and smooth finish makes them very slippery if you're like me and use them with socks. This led to me having to readjust my foot placement several times as they would be constantly slipping out of place. Overall, the CSL pedals are actually quite good for what they are, but I reckon you'll be wanting to purchase the loud cell kit shortly after. Of course, now it's time to talk about the star of the show, the GT DD Pro itself. As opposed to the regular CSL DD, this one has compatibility for PlayStation and PC, and even Xbox if you attach an Xbox compatible Fanatec wheel rim onto it. Unlike the regular CSL DD, however, you cannot purchase the DD Pro as a standalone unit, at least not at the time of this recording. Thus, the least you need to spend to get this wheelbase is $700, which is something Fanatec has received lots of backlash for. The dirt drive motor is housed in an aluminum shell with plastic front and back plates. The purpose of this design is to serve as a passive heatsink which maintains the motor cool without using any fans. The result is a very silent wheelbase. T-nuts can also be inserted on the bottom or sides of the wheelbase for maximum hard mounting versatility. On the back of the wheelbase is where everything plugs in. All your Fanatec shifters, handbrakes, pedals, etc. will be compatible with this wheelbase. The power button is located on the front of the base. Press once and the wheelbase turns on in the default PC mode. Press it again and the light turns blue for PlayStation 4 or 5 compatibility. My PlayStation immediately recognized this wheelbase and I was good to go. On PC, you must first download the Fanatec drivers and then you'll be ready. The quick release is okay, a step up from something like Thrustmasters, sure, but still not anything I would brag about. It requires a good amount of force to insert and remove, and you still must manually lock it in. That being said though, it did do a good job at properly securing the wheel to the base, as I felt no flex in that regard. In game, I'll be completely honest, this wheel left me wanting a little bit more. Let me explain. Yes, being a direct drive wheel, it immediately feels superior to anything else at this price point. It's faster to react, it's precise, and it gives off more detail than anything else competing against it in the segment. The feeling of the road, hitting bumps, curbs, going on grass, etc., it's all felt through the wheel. The only problem is that the 5Nm peak torque does not do it enough justice in my opinion. Even at the max settings, I still felt the wheel was missing a little bit of kick to it, or even the 6Nm Thrustmaster TSXW felt stronger at times. Don't get me wrong, 5Nm is enough to feel detail and perform well on track, but I don't think it's enough to truly simulate the detail, kick, and power of the car that direct drive wheelbases are so well known for doing. Do I think the added 3Nm given off by the booster kit will dramatically change my perception of this wheel? Absolutely. But I truly can't say that the 5Nm that comes standard was enough, and that sucks because I feel like there's so much wasted potential hidden behind a $150 paywall. Like I said though, in terms of just racing, catching slides, and having an understanding of how the car is reacting, it does a great job, but the immersion definitely does take a loss due to the lack of substantial force. In conclusion, the Fanatec GT DD Pro bundle is a very good offering by Fanatec. It comes with everything you need to take your sim racing experience to the next level and finally experience direct drive. As with everything in the world though, it does come with a catch. It is essentially a bundle that will leave you satisfied but aching for more. I can almost guarantee that most people buying the entry level bundle that I have will soon thereafter be purchasing the load cell for the pedals, the boost kit, and probably a different wheel rim. From Fanatec's perspective, that's genius, and I have zero doubt in my mind that this was done on purpose, but I'm not gonna lie, the 5mm direct drive wheelbase has left me wishing for a bit more power. I can only explain it as an incredible dessert that is very good, but leaves you wishing for a little more. As always, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.